Peace. Divine understanding, born of law, and set the record straight in the wilderness of North America. We're going to look at, let's look at Genesis 14:13. Now, based on the King James Version of the Bible, 14:13, that would be the first place in the Bible that you would see the word Hebrew. So the word Hebrew and Abram, or his name before he was Abraham, that would be the first place you would see Hebrew. So the Hebrews start off with Abraham. So here's the verse here that gives you a start of Hebrew. Prior to that, you don't see Hebrew in the Bible. The genealogy of Abraham is taught in chapter 11 of the Bible. So if you go to chapter 11, you can see his genealogy. So if we look, chapter 11, we'll see his genealogy. So what we'll do is we'll go over here to chapter 11, and we'll see right here, Terah beget Abram, Nahor and Haran. Those are his brothers. And Haran beget Lot. So that's why we know that Lot is the nephew of Abraham. Right? There it is right there. Simple and plain. And that's based on the King James Version of the Bible. As we travel further up, we discover Shem is the line through which Abraham comes through. So all you have to do is go into chapter 11 in Genesis, and that is chapter 11, verse 11. And right here you see, and Shem lived after he beget. Alright? So you can read it yourself. These are the generations of Shem. Let's go to chapter 10, and we'll see that, now these are the generations of the sons of Noah. Right? So, Shem, Ham, and to them sons are born after the flood, right? So that's after the flood. And then it goes on down. As you can see, you see Canaan, you see Cush, major players put, right? Cush beget Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. We can go into Nimrod later, where he's the one that basically created Christmas with the evergreen tree and his mother Esther, and the Immaculate Conception comes out of that. And Canaan begat. Alright, so you see Canaan. You also see in here Tubal. Here the sons of Ham. Right? Go on down. And then you'll go into chapter 11 where we just came out of. Right? Okay, now knowledge to Noah and his children before the flood or after the flood. There are no Hebrews in those days. So the foundation to the Hebrews would have to be Shem, Ham, Noah. Right? Japheth. However you want to pronounce it. Most people pronounce it Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. But if you notice, Tubal, there's Tubal right there. That's where the Masons use Tubal Cain. And there's Cush. There's Canaan. And Foot would be Kemet. And Mesmerim is Kemet. Go back here into the beginning, which is like, if we start back like in chapter 2, we get into where Adam is naming the animals. But you notice how you don't see the word Hebrew in the Adam part. You don't see the word Hebrew in Adam, Eve, Cain, Abel, and then Cain slays Abel, and then you see Seth is the next son. Cain goes to the land of Nod and gets a wife. So that shows and proves that Adam couldn't be the foundation to man, because if he was the foundation to man in itself, then how could Cain slay Abel and then go to the land of Nod and get a wife? You see right here in chapter 4, because we're going to do this research together. In chapter 4, you see, and Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of the sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. Where Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. All right? That's Genesis 4 or Genesis 5. Right? We go to Genesis 4, chapter 4, and then we go to and Cain talked with Abel, his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. And then when the Lord questioned me, that's where they come up with, am I my brother's keeper? Feel me? Right, then we go on down and we see right here where, behold, thou hast driven me out of this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I have hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he built a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. See, now that shows and proves right there. That shows and proves right there that there was other people on the planet Earth even at the time of Adam. All right, here's another famous player. Methuselah lived after he begat Lamech 782 years and begat sons and daughters. Right, they always say you're going to live as old as Methuselah. And all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. All right, and then you got Lamech, lived 182 years and begot a son, and he called his name Noah. All right, now we get to Noah. The first Hebrew is Abraham. Prior to Abraham, there are no Hebrews. So then the original man, who is the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, and God of the universe, that is only one of the tribes of the original man, is Hebrew, coming out of Abraham, because the planet was full of people even in the time of Adam. Now, we're just going to use the Bible as in this, for instance. But if we was to go into, say, theology of time would let you see that Adam, in all actuality, based on theology of time, wouldn't be the original man. It would be the European. But that would be the different Adam, because if we go back to Adam, I'll show you. Watch this. Adam. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant in the sight and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. A river went out of Eden to water to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads. All right, now we could go into the Quabbalistic tree of life on that and do metaphysical science and do metaphysics and the Quabbalistic and Kabbalah. We could go right in there, right from there. We could go right there. All right, now watch this.